Thank you and hello from London. Okay, let's take a look at weekly key reversals for the past week. There were weekly key reversals down in sterling against the rand, and that was it for down. Meanwhile, we had weekly key reversals up in Paris Rapeseed, Chicago corn and EEX butter futures. That last one has been a recent favourite of mine, if you recall, though this time it was down on no real movement in the prior 3 weeks after the earlier big move higher. Paris Rapeseed was an interesting one. The whole week's action rested on a bullish opening long white Mariposa. That was made on Wednesday last week, and you could say that day was a weekly key reversal up on its own. Chicago corn was also interesting. And again, on Wednesday last week's action, a bullish closing along white Mariposa. That was the weekly key reversal up in one day. We saw prices that day punch up through and close over the 2021 downtrend, currently 536. This downtrend was and is important as it forms part of a possible descending triangle from mid-February, and also part of a possible roof pattern that stretches from the start of the year. The market has stabilized over this downtrend and seems to be building up to a possible further attempt higher. Watch this one carefully, as a move back down below the trend line may indicate weakness in the bullish incentive, whilst consecutive closes below the trend line would seemingly indicate a false break on the upside. Now, there were also 2 outside weeks to note. They are lesser than a key reversal, not utilizing the full opportunity of a key reversal. There were outside weeks in Chicago soybeans and spot palladium. Just take note of those for the moment. Now, the main piece I'd like to speak about is the monthly key reversals we had during February. They were surprisingly few in the markets I follow. We had just one, a monthly key reversal down in UK feed wheat futures. This was not an unanticipated move, as any who have read my weekly market commentaries on grains will no doubt be aware. I spotted the potential of such a monthly key reversal down back in the middle of March, when prices dropped below the very recent 50% Fibonacci line at 20045, as well as the then gently rising, now flatlining, medium moving average, currently 199.70. Some enterprising fellows tried to halt the move with a big combined key reversal up and bullish closing white Mariposa on Wednesday last week. However, a daily pattern does not usually trump a weekly or monthly pattern, and we're not far off the lows for this year as well. So you would imagine that it all looked pretty bleak for UK feed wheat futures. Well, let me throw a spanner in the works and remind you that, dear listeners, the real life is much more complicated than that. A little below the market, we have the 50% Fibonacci line of the whole big August 2020 to January 2021 move at 187.40. A little below that, we may have a concrete wall emerging. It is the combination of the rising long moving average, currently 187.05, and the April 2020 to date uptrend, currently at 186.90. These last two have been inseparable since mid-March, just about the time we had the cue for that monthly key reversal down. Now, you can see why I find this smaller contract all the more interesting, as it brings big forces to bear technically and may result in some interesting actions and moves as a consequence and result. I'm not even going to mention in detail the bearish January to March Andrews pitchfork, which is currently giving the bearish angle of attack of the market. For that, you need to go into my UK feed wheat futures commentaries to discover. I'm happy to share my charts with anyone who's interested, and with that I'll finish this section from London. That about sums it up. So in the meantime, for a more detailed analysis of these and other products, please contact me through the usual channels and I can send you a copy of my heavily annotated charts. And with that, I conclude the broadcast from London. Hope you found these comments useful.